Have you noticed something small, but persistent, about someone you love? Maybe your dad isn't finishing his meals like he used to. Maybe your mum forgets conversations more often. Or your grandpa has lost interest in his favorite Sunday walk. At first, it all seems like just aging. We shrug it off. We tell ourselves, they're just getting older. But what if those little changes were quiet warnings? What if the body, weeks, even months ahead, was already whispering that time is running short? The truth is, many families don't recognize these signs until it's too late. Only when looking back, after the hospital stay, after the hospice call, do they realize the clues were there all along. The belt that suddenly didn't fit, the sudden naps during the day, the way they stared quietly at the wall. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you see, with compassion and clarity, what most people miss. Because when you understand these signs early, you can offer better care. You can hold on to what truly matters: comfort, dignity, peace, and time. In this video, we'll walk through 5 powerful signs that often appear in the final year of life. They're subtle, easy to ignore, but they matter more than you know. Let's begin. Sign number 1. Major changes in breathing and circulation. Have you ever sat beside someone you love and noticed their breathing just didn't sound the same? Maybe it's slower than usual, or there are long pauses between each breath, like their body is forgetting what to do. Sometimes they breathe quickly, then stop, then breathe again. It's called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, and it's one of the body's quiet ways of saying, I'm winding down. You may also feel their hands or feet and notice they're cold to the touch, or their fingertips look bluish or pale. This isn't just poor circulation. It's the body conserving blood for vital organs like the heart and brain. Let me tell you about Mr. Raymond, an 85-year-old former mechanic from Nebraska. In his final months, even sitting upright became a challenge. He would gasp slightly after a short sentence, and his daughter Sarah noticed he no longer wanted to lie flat in bed. He preferred sleeping in his recliner because breathing felt easier. This isn't just about aging lungs. It's a shift in how the body works near the end. The heart isn't pumping as strongly. The lungs might begin to hold fluid, causing a soft wheeze, or that unsettling gurgle sound you sometimes hear in the last days. But here's what matters most. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to force deep breaths. You don't need to panic. Instead, create comfort. Keep the room cool and airy. Let them rest in a slightly elevated position. Offer small sips of water, and if their doctor recommends it, use oxygen or humidifiers to ease the tension in their chest. These changes may be scary to witness, but they are often natural steps as the body slowly lets go. And your calm presence, your gentle care, can make this final chapter one of peace, not panic. If someone you love is showing these signs, don't focus on fighting what's happening. Focus on being there. Because in the end, your presence is more healing than anything else. Sign number 2, frequent infections and slow healing. What the body's really telling you. Have you ever noticed that an elderly loved one keeps getting sick more often and more seriously than before? Maybe it starts with a simple cold that doesn't go away, or a tiny scratch on the leg that refuses to heal. And suddenly, every little infection seems to last longer, hit harder, and come back again. This is no coincidence. It's a sign that the immune system, the body's frontline defense, is getting tired. And when we reach the later stages of life, that defense starts letting its guard down. Let me tell you about Linda, an 82-year-old retired piano teacher from Minnesota. She was always sharp, independent, full of grace. But over the past year, her family noticed she was getting urinary tract infections every couple of months. She had no fever, no pain, just felt off, tired, and skipped meals. It wasn't until she became disoriented one afternoon and nearly fell that they realized something was wrong. You see, infections in seniors don't always look the way we expect. They don't always come with fever or chills. Sometimes the first sign is mental fog or a sudden drop in energy. Even antibiotics that used to work fast may now seem less effective. Wounds heal slower because circulation is weaker and skin becomes thinner. A small bruise or pressure sore can quickly become serious if not watched carefully. In these moments, it's natural to want to fix things fast. Another round of medicine, another hospital visit. But when infections keep coming back, when recovery takes weeks instead of days, it may be the body's way of signaling it's slowing down. And what your loved one needs most might not be a stronger treatment. It might be comfort, gentle care, a clean, peaceful environment, hydration, moisturized skin, loving presence. Because sometimes, healing isn't about fighting harder, it's about easing the journey. If you've noticed someone you love getting sick more often or healing more slowly than before, don't ignore it. It's not just about infection. It's the body asking for gentler support in its final stretch. Sign number 3. Confusion and emotional withdrawal. When the mind begins to step back. Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone you love and felt like they weren't fully there? Maybe your father, once sharp as a tack, now forgets names he's known for decades. Or your aunt, who used to lead family conversations, now just sits quietly, staring out the window. You might hear the same story repeated 3 times in a single visit, or find them lost in a familiar room, unsure of where they were heading. At first, it's easy to chalk it up to just aging, but something deeper is happening. You see, the brain, just like the heart or lungs, relies on steady blood flow, oxygen, and nutrients to function. As circulation slows in the final stages of life, the brain begins to falter. Thoughts become foggy. Time slips. Recognition fades. Let me share the story of Mr. Harris, a retired postman from Oregon. His granddaughter Emily remembers how he once recalled every birthday, every street on his delivery route. But last winter he forgot her name. Not because he didn't love her, not because he wasn't trying, but because his mind was beginning to step back. It's not just memory loss either. You might notice they stop engaging in conversations. They avoid visitors, skip favorite activities, or seem emotionally distant. This isn't about not caring. It's about having less mental energy to give. Even personality can shift. Some become more irritable, others unusually calm or detached. These changes aren't chosen. They're part of the body's slow retreat. So, what can you do? Don't force them to snap out of it. Don't pressure them to be who they were. Instead, meet them where they are. Speak gently. Create a calm, familiar space, their favorite chair, soft lighting, familiar scents. Hold their hand, even when they say nothing. Because presence, quiet, steady, loving presence, speaks louder than any words. When someone you love begins to pull away mentally or emotionally, it's not rejection. It's their way of conserving what's left, of preparing. And your patience, your kindness, your quiet understanding can become the very thing that carries them through this tender stage of life. Sign number 4. Deep, lasting fatigue. When the body is trying to conserve energy. Have you ever noticed someone you love, a parent, a partner, maybe a grandparent, sleeping more than usual? They wake up tired, nap during the day, and even sitting upright seems like a struggle. This isn't laziness. It's not just old age. It's often the body's quiet way of saying, "I'm saving what little energy I have left." You see, as we near the final chapter of life, the body begins to prioritize survival. The heart doesn't pump as strongly, blood flow slows down, and the muscles stop getting the oxygen they need. Even small movements, walking to the bathroom, brushing hair or chewing food, suddenly feel exhausting. Let me tell you about Walter, a 79-year-old retired carpenter from North Carolina. He once spent hours in his garage building birdhouses, always whistling while he worked. But over the past 6 months, his wife Maria noticed something changed. Walter started skipping breakfast, spent most mornings in bed, and stopped joining her for their evening walks. When she asked if he was okay, he'd simply say, "Just tired, hun. That's all." But it wasn't just tired. It was his body slowly redirecting its energy, not toward activity or conversation, but toward basic survival. The more the body slows down, the more rest it craves. And here's something important. Pushing won't help. No amount of encouragement or scheduled routines can restore energy that the body no longer has. In fact, pressuring someone to stay active can lead to more frustration for both of you. Instead, shift the focus. Help them move gently when they're ready. Offer small, nourishing meals they can manage. Let them nap when they need to. And most importantly, stay close, without expectation. This kind of fatigue can be emotionally hard to witness. It's heartbreaking to watch someone who was once so active withdraw, sleep more, and speak less. But what they need most now is your presence, not your pressure. If someone you love is resting more than usual, moving slower, or skipping everyday routines, pause. This could be their body saying, "I'm winding down." And in those quiet moments, your patience, your warmth, and your steady love might just be the greatest gift you can give.
Sign number 5. Unexplained weight loss. The body's early cry for help.
Have you ever looked at an elderly loved one and noticed their clothes hanging looser? Maybe their belt suddenly needs a new notch, or their favorite sweater droops on the shoulders. They haven't been dieting, but the pounds are quietly slipping away. This kind of unintentional weight loss is one of the earliest and most overlooked signs that the body may be entering its final stage. You see, as we age, especially in the final year of life, the body stops absorbing nutrients like it used to. Digestion slows, muscle mass begins to shrink, the ability to process protein and maintain strength weakens, and over time, this leads to frailty, higher risk of falls, and more frequent infections. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a warm-hearted 84-year-old from Pennsylvania. Her daughter, Janet, noticed something strange. Dorothy had stopped asking for her usual tea cookies. She ate smaller portions at dinner and often pushed her plate away after a few bites. At first, it seemed minor, just a normal part of aging. But within months, her arms thinned out, her energy faded, and she struggled to get out of bed without help. Here's the thing. Appetite loss in the elderly is rarely just a matter of taste. It's the body beginning to shut down systems that are no longer needed. Even chronic illnesses like cancer, heart failure, kidney disease, or depression can contribute to a declining appetite and weight loss. Naturally, families want to help. They offer favorite dishes, cook more nutritious meals, even try protein shakes. But when the body is slowing down, more food doesn't always mean more strength. In fact, forcing large meals can cause more discomfort than benefit. So what can we do? The goal shifts from calorie counting to comfort-focused care. Offer small, soft, easy-to-digest foods. Prioritize hydration. Create a calm, loving environment around mealtimes. And most importantly, listen, not push. If you notice a loved one losing weight without trying, especially alongside fatigue, weakness, or changes in appetite, this isn't just about appearance. It's the body's quiet signal, asking you to slow down with it. And when we hear that call early, we're given a powerful gift, the chance to walk alongside them with more compassion, more intention, and more love. So let's take a deep breath together and gently look back.
We've just walked through 5 quiet but powerful signs that often appear in the final year of life.
1. Changes in breathing and circulation. 2. Frequent infections and slow healing. 3. Mental confusion and emotional withdrawal. 4. Deep, lasting fatigue. 5. Unexplained weight loss. None of these signs are meant to scare you. They're not warnings of something going wrong. They're simply the body's way of saying, softly and honestly, I'm nearing my time. For many families, these changes feel heartbreaking. We want to fight back, offer more treatments, more food, more activity, to keep our loved ones here longer. But there's a deeper kind of strength in knowing when to shift from fighting to honoring. And that's what this moment calls for. Not fear, but gentle awareness. Not pressure, but presence. Not fixing, but loving. Because when we recognize these signs early, we're given a gift. The gift of time to say what matters. To hold a hand. To play that favorite song one more time. To whisper, I'm here, even if no words come back. And isn't that what we all hope for in the end? To be cared for, to be understood, to be deeply loved. Not just in life, but in life's most tender final stretch. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and leave a comment below to share your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe share a story about someone you love or something you've learned today that touched your heart. And if you'd like more content like this, about caring, aging, and living with meaning, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss the next one. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your heart. And thank you for loving someone even through goodbye.